Welcome back to Mr. Orr's Flip Classroom for Grammar. Today a quick look at capitalization, beginning with people and cultures. First, when looking at the names and initials of people, be sure to always capitalize each first letter, followed by a period for those initials. Remember that some individuals may have 1, 2, or even 3 initials used, such as J.R.R. Tolkien. When looking at personal titles and family relationships, remember to always capitalize these titles when they precede a capitalized proper noun, but not usually when preceded by the word the. For example, if we're talking about the general, we likely wouldn't capitalize the G in general. If we add general to the word Eisenhower, and that becomes a title for that individual uniquely, then it's part of a proper noun and is capitalized. The King of France isn't necessarily a proper noun. It's actually a common noun with the prepositional phrase. If we said King Louis XIV of France, then we would likely put a capital K on the word king because it's part of the title before the name of the king. For family relationships, the general rule is if you're going to use the pronoun my or your in front of that family relationship, odds are quite good you're not going to use the proper noun with it. So if I talk about Uncle Bob, that's part of the title. Rather than saying Bob and his last name, I'm using the term Uncle Bob to refer to the specific individual, proper noun. If I talk about my uncle, it's likely I might have multiple uncles, or did at one point in time have more than one uncle, in which case I'm not being specific and is considered a common noun. For abbreviations, remember to not capitalize secondary letters used to distinguish unclear abbreviations. Okay, that was a mouthful. Short version. If we use the letter D, capital period D, to indicate doctor or doctoral degree, we have to realize that just because we have a PD doesn't necessarily mean we know what that letter P stands for. In this case, as the examples indicate, a PhD is Doctor of Philosophy, whereas a PsyD is a Doctor of Psychology. In those cases, we have to add the extra letters, usually the next letters in that particular term, or whatever letters are unique in those abbreviations, in order to let us know which actual kind of doctor in this case we're dealing with. Also, just because the letter J doesn't necessarily indicate junior, we have capital J lowercase r, period, is what's used to abbreviate junior, just like the last letters used to abbreviate Mr. and senior. Also, remember that religious terms are capitalized regardless of your own belief system. Regardless of what your beliefs are, if you ascribe to a particular religion, or if you don't, you still capitalize those terms, whether it be for books, for holidays or events, or religious clothing and customs. Do bear in mind, though, when we're talking about gods and goddesses and things such as mythology, usually those are considered lowercase because we're not referring to that as a proper noun name for someone in particular. Ethnic group, languages, and nationalities. The key to remember with these is that since most of these come from other kinds of proper nouns, even if it's a proper adjective or a different kind of proper noun, then we still capitalize them, even if it's part of another phrase. So if we're talking about the idea of America and we want to use the term American, since we capitalize America, we capitalize American, whether we're using that as a noun or as an adjective. The word France, we capitalize French. This applies even if we're talking about French bread or French fries. We still capitalize the F on French no matter what. Likewise, in some languages and cultures, the spelling actually reduces Bible letters as opposed to adding them or changing them altogether, such as Somalia as the country and Somali would be the people or the language. An example. My Aunt Agatha left Venice for Passover. In that sentence, the problem word starts with the word my. If we're talking about my aunt, then we shouldn't capitalize the A on aunt, whereas Agatha as a name should always be capitalized. If we didn't have the my here and the sentence began with Aunt Agatha, then we capitalize the A on aunt because it's part of the title for Agatha. Venice is the name of a city and should always be capitalized. Passover is a Jewish holiday and should have a capitalized P. Dr. Pepper is the official beverage of the U.S. Pond Hockey Championships. Dr. Pepper is the name of a particular beverage. U.S. should be capitalized. P for pond should be capitalized. But there's no reason not to capitalize the H on hockey and the C on championships as well. Keep going with the practice, and this time your teacher may be asking you to do every single exercise in the packet because it's so quick. Do remember to make sure you triple underline every letter that should be capitalized and do angle slash through those particular letters that shouldn't be capitalized, like this. Good hunting.